What's up, folks? So today I'm going to do a little bit of a vlog style video. I've done these before, but not a whole bunch, and there's a bunch of you who are brand new to the channel, so this just kind of gives you, I don't know, a little bit more information about me, helps you get to know me a little bit better. So today the weather is just absolutely awful outside, so I'm going to go meet a buddy at the indoor archery range. So we're going to go shoot, go kind of get our hunting bows sighted in and get ready. So just come hang out with me and join along as we just kind of talk and enjoy the day. Alright, loading up my bow. Normally I put it in the back of the truck, but considering how just awful the weather is right now, it's going in the back seat. Forgot my raincoat, had to go up and grab it, so now I'm all set. Let's get out of here. So kind of a bad habit of mine, I live right across the street from a Chick-fil-A, so it makes it dangerously easy for me to just run over and grab something, usually for breakfast or whenever. Makes it too easy to eat junk food instead of just cooking something at home. Oh, that's my radar detector's going off. I don't know, probably just caught passing by or something. Yeah, but it makes it way too easy to just go in and get junk food. So, I'm doing it today. Oh well. So this is how you know you're officially a complete dork for outdoor and adventure gear and just accessories like that. When you go by a fast food restaurant and order a drink with no ice because you've got a Yeti cup with your own ice. It just works better that way. Perfect fit, look at that. Look at all that cardboard. Man, out in this weather I don't think it's going to be good for much after today. That is quite a stack. Alrighty, so my trip to the archery range actually went extremely well. Ended up making some minor adjustments to my bow, but I had kind of planned on that because when I had sighted it in, I was actually shooting on a slope a little bit, just because that's kind of how I'm going to be hunting. Most likely I'll be up in a tree, but I might take a shot from the ground, and kind of that's where I had zeroed everything. So I figured I would be, in order to get a more accurate zero, a level zero, I would be a little bit off, and I was, but I only made minor adjustments. That's good. It's always good when you're needing to work on something and you're only making small changes and there's no real surprises, anything like that. My buddy Luke, he was shooting there as well, and his bow seemed to be doing pretty well. We both shot through the chronograph, which was pretty cool, and my bow, I'm shooting a Bowtech Assassin this year. I'll probably do like a full video on that. But with everything that I've got set up, shooting a 400 grain total weight arrow, was shooting I think 268 or 270 around there. So that's pretty good, and that's, you know, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought maybe it would be faster, but then I've got a bunch of string silencers and stuff on there which slows it down, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But 268 is absolutely a good speed for hunting, so that was pretty cool. In my last group, it was a pretty tight group, probably about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, with 3 or 4 arrows. So that's a very acceptable group, and again, just at 20 yards, just dinking it at an indoor range. But holding a group, you know, within just a couple inches at that distance, absolutely good enough for whitetail hunting, kind of in the woods. So right now, I'm actually on my way to go get my truck worked on, or rather get my HID lights worked on. So I had, sorry, my radar detector keeps going off. Turn that sucker off. So I had HIDs, easy for me to say, huh? Installed about 1.5 years ago, and generally I like them a lot because it's, you know, for driving around the city, I don't think it matters that much, but when I'm on some empty country road, being able to see better is definitely beneficial. Mostly for safety, honestly, just being able to see anything in the road. But just, you know, all the advantage of being able to see better. So I like them a lot, but my right headlight has been flickering on and off a lot. And I've noticed it when I pull up fairly close behind somebody and I can see the reflection of the headlights. It's just flickering on and off almost constantly. A lot of times it'll be on fine, then I hit a bump and it'll flicker a little bit. So it seems like there's a loose connection or something there, and yeah, I could probably fix it myself, but you know, I put a lot of money into HIDs with these guys, so I'm gonna see if they're actually gonna stand behind their product and if they're gonna fix it for me. I bet they probably will, but we'll see. So right now, that's what I'm off to do, and I'll give you an update when we get there. So this is another thing that you probably didn't know about me. Some of my friends think this is really weird. I think it makes complete sense. But I was driving on the way to the HID install place, and I noticed that my gas tank is below a quarter tank. And for me, that means time to fill up. So I always fill up as soon as I get below a quarter tank, usually at the nearest place that's got a reasonable price. Now, if it's, you know, right at a quarter tank or a little bit below, doesn't matter. But I try to fill up, you know, around that point. I don't ever wait till my gas light comes on. I always fill up way ahead of that. And I've never run out of gas, and I never will. I think running out of gas is one of the most preventable things that you could ever you could ever have. So I'm not gonna let that happen to me. So some people think that's weird, but whatever. It's just what I do. Not bad. Alright, looks like we got fogs and main lights not flickering. Alright, so it was just a loose connection on the HIDs, kind of what I had figured. Basically a little connector had just kind of wiggled loose, and then since it was exposed, some corrosion had built up on that connector. And unfortunately, I was just out of my warranty, which seems like that's always when this stuff happens, right? So I was a little bit out of my warranty, so they did charge me a diagnostic fee, but they cleaned it up and they actually glued the connector back on there so that it can't happen again. All stuff that I probably could have done myself pretty easily, but they see this stuff all the time and work with it, and so if I just keep going back to the same shop, then they're gonna know exactly what I have and how to fix it. So they charged me like 30 bucks. And yeah, I definitely could have done it for cheaper, but I think it's worth it. Just if I ever have another issue again, I now have recourse to go in and say, hey, this is what you did. It was working at this date, you know, and they'll work to make it right. So I really like supporting small businesses like that. That's just a local HID shop. And it seemed like they were really busy. It seemed like a lot of people are wanting to upgrade the headlights in their trucks and in their other vehicles. So I like working with people like that more than just, you know, trying to buy a kit on eBay and do it myself. I looked at doing that at first, and the price was almost about the same. So I'd rather give my business to a small shop like that. So now on to the next errand. Going to sporting goods store, see if I can find some powder and projectiles for my new black powder, which I will do a video on in the future, but just kind of looking to see what they've got. So we'll head that way. Traffic sucks. I hate just sitting in traffic, especially on a rainy, nasty day. You're sitting here doing nothing. It's so frustrating. I just want to be out getting things done, but you know, it's all a part of it, I guess. It's a part of life. So I need to just be patient and just keep powering through. Goodness, the weather is still just rainy and sloppy and nasty, and it's just staying gross outside. This is like the weather we get in like February or March. Not what you would expect for August in Texas. But on the positive side, it's like 73 degrees outside, when normally August it's 100 or higher. So can't complain about that. Just getting some rain, but you know, that's good for the farms. It's good for crops. It's good for people's lawns. It's good for lots of stuff. So I don't really have a right to complain. It's just kind of bizarre weather for us. So one thing that's kind of annoying about the lighting systems on these Dodge trucks, and I don't think it's just Dodge, I had a Ford SUV and it was like this too, is you can't have the fog lights on and the brights on at the same time. So if you've got your headlights on, you can turn on and off the fogs, but if you switch on the brights, your fog lights normally turn off. Now I get why they did this, because really you shouldn't be using your fogs and your brights at the same time. It doesn't make sense for normal driving conditions. Like if you're driving on the highway and it's, you know, drizzly or foggy and you want to use your fog lights, that makes sense, because that's not the time you want to use your high beams, and vice versa. When you want to use your high beams is not the time when you want to use your fogs. So they've got that selection programmed in there. But if you're just trying to light up an area with as much light as possible, it sure would be nice if you could do that manually and have everything on at the same time. It doesn't really bug me enough to go in there and try to tweak the wiring and change it myself. I think I'd probably be able to. It's just kind of a weird thing. Those HIDs look good though. They'll look good at night. Glad they got everything working. Alright, I am so done with Academy Sports. They are behind me and hopefully never coming back. So I thought I was going to be done with Academy when they changed their policy and said, hey, we're only going to sell ARs and AKs and stuff. We're not going to display any of that. We're going to keep it behind the counter, and we're only going to sell it when people ask specifically for it, but we don't really want anybody to know we're going to carry it. When they made that move, I was hesitant, and then today, I should have never come back, honestly. But they're the closest big sporting goods store to me, so admittedly I got lazy. I just said, hey, I'm just gonna come back to Academy, see if they've got some stuff. So I needed a couple different things. Looking to get some more scent killer, like the laundry detergent. I've got the spray that you spray on your clothing, but looking to get that. They had that here. Looking to get some clay pigeons for dove season, just for practice. They had that here. But I got a new muzzleloader, and it's in 50. My previous one was in 45. So I need to get 50 caliber bullets, sabos, and black powder. And when I asked if they had any of that, first of all, it wasn't obvious on the shelves. I walked up to the guy at the gun counter and asked if they had any black powder supplies. He said they didn't carry any of that. Then the next guy behind him said they did. And then the first guy clarified, he said, oh, we don't have any black powder, we just have smokeless powder. Which, big difference there. If you don't know the difference, you never want to put smokeless powder in a black powder gun. That's a great way to make a pipe bomb and blow your face off. Not a good way to have a working gun. So they didn't have any black powder at all, which was discouraging. Then I asked if they had black powder, like muzzleloader projectiles and sabos, and he said they did. And I said, where? He said, by the smokeless powder. I asked him if he thought that was dangerous and confusing, and he didn't think so at all. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think putting black powder supplies right next to smokeless powder when you don't carry any black powder at all is kind of asking for somebody to have an accident. Somebody who is just getting into black powder and doesn't know any better. That's a potentially dangerous situation. Well, I went over there and looked, and it turns out there was a peg for some Hornady. I don't remember, what the tip was or anything like that, but just Hornady projectiles. But they were sold out. So they didn't have any in stock. Maybe they never have them in stock, and that's just an old peg that's been there since they did their last planogram. Who knows? But man, it was just really discouraging. Discouraging to the point that I had the sporting clays and the scent killer stuff in my cart, and I just put them back. Because I'm gonna go where I can actually go get something, where I can go get all my stuff at one place, and not have to worry about stores that have all this and are really crowded yet still don't have what I need. So until further notice, I'm just done with Academy. All right, so Academy didn't have what I was looking for. The next closest sporting goods store is a Dick's Sporting Goods. Called them up. They don't have what I'm looking for either. They don't have any black powder stuff or any reloading stuff at all, at least at this location. So I'm not surprised. Usually Dick's Sporting Goods doesn't have the majority of what I need if I'm looking for, you know, real precise gun stuff. So I called up another little gun shop in the area, and they said they did have, I was looking for the White Hots powder substitute. They didn't have that, but they did have the Hodgdon, which is very good as well. So they've got that, and they say they have 50 caliber projectiles and sabos. So it seems like they've got everything I need in terms of that category. I can buy the clay pigeons and the detergent. I could buy that at Walmart if I need to. So I'm not too worried about that. But finding the muzzleloader supplies, that's great. And I'd always rather support a small independent business rather than some big box store anyway. So I'm gonna go see what they have. Hopefully they've got the real Sabo real Sabo kit with the projectiles, not the power belts. I know the power belts are a little bit easier and cleaner, but I found the accuracy isn't that good. I might do a whole video about that later. But right now I'm on the way to go see what they've got. So fingers crossed, hopefully they've got what I need. Spoon Man! Who wants to go to the phallus store? No, I think it's just a clothing store, but that name though. Well, they kind of had a halfway solution. My results here were a little bit better than at Academy. They had the projectiles I was looking for. Now these are packaged a little bit differently than what I was expecting. The ones I saw were just in like a plastic clamshell. But these are the hollow point projectiles with the sabos, and they look to be good quality. And it was 11 bucks for 20 of them. So that's actually a pretty good price for specialty 50 cal projectiles. So good there. As far as powder, he must have misunderstood what I was looking for. Originally, I was looking for the White Hots, the 50/50 black powder substitute pellets. If they didn't have those, I was going to go with the Pyrodex 777 substitute pellets. Same weight, 50/50. That's 50 caliber and 50 grains of weight. And they didn't have that. So he pointed me to some loose powder, but I really want to avoid the loose powder just because I really don't like the idea of measuring powder out in the field and storing all my black powder in just a big can. The individual pellets are just so handy and so easy to use that I wanted to stick with that. And they're pretty safe and stable as well. So that's a good option. They didn't have exactly what I was looking for. They had them in 45 caliber, 50 grain, which technically, yes, it will fit, but there's a bunch of loose space in there, and, you know, when it's meant to be a black powder substitute and you're adding different amounts of air to it, and it's not nearly as predictable. And then they had 50 caliber but only 30 grains, which is a really weird size. So my rifle is set for 100, but it can take up to 150. I found that extra 50 is kind of pointless because usually that's burning after everything's left the barrel. That's just more smoke and a bigger muzzle flash, which there's no benefit to that. So I could have bought these 50/30s and loaded to 90 grains or loaded to 120, but either way, I'm still using up more pellets. So I'm getting less out of my money, and my power is not really exactly what I was planning on. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and bite the bullet, pun intended, and go on down to Bass Pro. They're 30 minutes away from here, but I'm pretty sure they'll actually have what I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep these Hornady projectiles. They look really good quality. I may buy some more at Bass Pro if they've got something a little bit different, but they'll at least have the powder I'm looking for. And you never know, might be able to pick up something else there too. So on to the next stop. But before then, I need something to eat. It is 3:15, and I haven't had anything to eat since about 8:15 this morning when I picked up that Chick-fil-A. So I'm pretty hungry, but it's before 4, so that means Sonic Happy Hour is still an option. I'll admit it, I am totally addicted to Dr. Pepper. I absolutely love this stuff. But I used to be addicted to Monster energy drinks, so at least it's a small step in the right direction, right? Road pirates running radar. Not gonna get me. Alright, I was on my way to Bass Pro, and then I just talked to my parents, and so I need to make one more stop along the way. they need to get some copies of their house key made, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that for them. So it seems like right now they're making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and it's not working well. Anytime they try to get it duplicated, the key just doesn't even work. So mine's at least a 2nd gen, maybe a 3rd gen copy, but they're hoping that maybe if I copy mine, it'll work better than their copies of copies of copies of copies. So we're gonna see if we can get a working key out of this thing, so we'll try it out. All right, got the keys, hopefully they will work. So I'm outside Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World, and this place is just absolutely huge. It's bigger than a Walmart, but all hunting gear. And I'm outside, and then I notice, look at this crazy new deer stand they've got. It's got a trailer hitch, it's got wheels, and then there's the stand on top. Oh no, wait, that's not a deer stand. We just live in a friggin' police state. Awesome. Alright folks, so I am just leaving Bass Pro Shops now, and it was a success. It was expensive, as it always is. It seems like when you go there, you definitely can't walk out of that store without $100 somehow flying out of your wallet, from my experience. But I went in there looking for, again, the black powder substitute pellets for 50 cal, for projectiles for those, for the scent elimination laundry detergent, and I found all of those. I found the white hot pellets that I was looking for, the exact ones I was looking for, and a 72 count too. So it's nice that you can buy them in a big package, not just like a pack of 20 or something like that. So got those. I went ahead and got some 50 cal bullets with sabos. And I know I got some of those at that small gun shop too, but the ones I just got at Bass Pro are the ones that I've used before and had really good accuracy with. They're both made by Hornady, but it's definitely a different type of bullet, so I figure I'll just sight it in and then I'll test it with both, and whichever one's more accurate, that's what I'll hunt with. So not only did I find a solution there, I had to spend some more money, but now I actually have options, so that's cool. And then, ironically, one of the original reasons I was looking to get into 50 cal muzzleloaders is because it was so hard to find stuff for 45 cal. At the last small gun shop I went to, they had 45 caliber powder but not 50. At Bass Pro they had both. And they had 45 caliber projectiles that were the ones I needed. Previously I don't know why, but it seemed like it was really hard to find them except the power bolt projectiles. So even though I was kind of getting away from all that stuff, they were on the shelves and I know they'll be hard to find later, so I went ahead and got some. So if I hang on to that muzzleloader, I now have a 45 cal and a 50 cal option, or potentially sell that muzzleloader at a good rate to maybe a buddy who wants to get into it, and sell it with all the stuff it needs instead of having to go track all that down. So just more options there. I did find the scent killer laundry detergent, pretty much the exact stuff I was looking for, and it was $12 versus I think it was $10 at Academy, so a little bit more at Bass Pro, but I mean they had everything else I'm looking for, and I don't have any political beef, I guess, with Bass Pro Shops, so I'd rather give them my money, even if it's a little bit more. I'd rather give it to them. The only thing that was kind of frustrating, or where I felt like I was striking out at Bass Pro, was the clay pigeons. They had them on sale for $17 for like a whole box of them. Normally that box should be like, I don't know, $9, $10, something like that. It shouldn't be 17. So they've got this big fall hunting classic sale, and they have a whole bunch of really good deals on a lot of scopes and a lot of rifles and a lot of new gear for the year. And it's generally a pretty good sale, and there's some cool stuff, but they've got some loss leaders just to get people in the door, and they were incredibly crowded. And the lady at the register she just looked exhausted. I felt so bad for her. I was like, have a good day. She just looked so tired, but they were really busy. But because they've got all these loss leaders, I mean, they got to make that money up somewhere. So yeah, they've got deals on like hunting ammo and scopes and rifles and stuff like that, but some of the just regular staples like clay pigeons, where you don't really think of the price really changing much, well, they might bump that up a little bit just to make some of their money back. Now, I don't know that's what they're doing, but you know, if I can buy them for like 2/3 of that price or even half that price at Walmart or somewhere else, you know, that's fine. And I'm just gonna do that. I was not in urgent need of them anyway, but that's what I'll do. So overall, kind of felt like a rat in a maze with just, I don't know, looking for cheese and throwing out cash along the way. It's kind of how you always feel anytime you're in Bass Pro Shops, but generally they'll have everything you need. So I finally got all that stuff. Now I'm gonna go test those locks at my parents' house and then finally start heading home. It's been a long day. So I went by my parents' house and tested the keys out on those locks, and guess what? They didn't work. So it was because the key that I originally had to copy them was not the right key. So it's not really ever gonna work, but oh well. I guess I'll just try it again someday. But it wasn't a total waste because I went over there and my dad was home, so I got to have a beer with him and just kind of hang out and talk, and we were sitting in his backyard. And then a hawk flew by and landed on the fence. So always cool to see something like a hawk, and it wasn't a red tail too. It was something different. I don't know if it was a Cooper's hawk or some other type of bird. But it's always cool to see stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. So now I'm headed home, and I also got a confirmation, shipping confirmation from UPS that a deer stand I ordered just arrived while I was out running errands. Alrighty, well it looks like my hang-on deer stand did arrive. It's from Guide Gear, which is just the private label brand for Sportsman's Guide. So basically it's just a generic hang-on deer stand, so it's pretty much the same thing that you would get whether it's Guide Gear brand or Cabela's brand or Redhead brand. Pretty much any private label is going to be the same as this, and I found they are very safe, secure. They don't have a lot of extra features, but if you don't need them, then something like this is actually a great option. I did notice that the box is kind of torn open at the end, so I'm definitely going to make sure everything is in here. So I don't want to get out to the woods and realize one of the hanging straps is missing, or there's some bolts missing or something like that. That's kind of important on something like this. It's a baby Mockingbird. Look at it. Little baby. Let's go check it out. Hey little dude. Oh, mom's up in the tree. Learn to fly day. Maybe learn to fly day part 2 or something. Hey little dude. I always think it's really cool to see stuff like that. Now, I'm definitely a hunter and I'm really into bird hunting too. Now that's a mockingbird, something that you can't hunt. It's actually the state bird of Texas, and so it's big time illegal to shoot it. But yeah, I shoot birds and I hunt birds, but I think that's just one part of it. You know, it's about just getting out and enjoying nature and appreciating it all. So seeing a little bird learning to fly like that, I think that's pretty cool. Well man, it sure was a busy day, and I really enjoy you guys kind of coming along for the ride. Man, it was a long day. We went to the archery range. Well, no, we got breakfast, we went to the archery range. We got my headlight fixed. We went to like 3 different sporting goods stores to try to find muzzleloader ammo. Finally got it. Got some keys made, hung out with my dad, and then came home and I saw a little baby bird learning to fly. So, very eventful day. I don't normally do this vlog style stuff, but I don't know, I'm still getting to know you guys. A lot of you guys are new to the channel, so if it's something that you want to see more, if it's something you appreciate, then let me know in the comments, because I definitely appreciate feedback. whether it's here or it's on the Facebook page. Yes, if you don't know, I recently started a Facebook page. So go check that out on Facebook and just kind of let me know, or if there's anything that you saw in this video that you want to learn more about, like, oh, why do you like that certain muzzleloader ammo that you were so picky about finding, or tell me more about your archery setup, or stuff like that, then please go ahead and just comment below and I'll answer that as well, and it gives me more ideas for what you guys want to see in future videos. So I enjoyed hanging out with you. Until next time, stay safe, be free, and never stop seeking adventure.